I wanted to start a side hustle that I would be able to do mostly from home and be able to make significant money from. And what I stumbled upon was reselling. It's where you buy returns or liquidated items in bulk, and then you turn around and flip them uh, to regular, customers, consumers. So what does this look like? Well, it means all sorts of things. But what I started with was buying a pallet. Welcome to the Teacher Money Show, the podcast dedicated to helping teachers navigate your unique financial challenges and unlock your financial superpowers. I'm your host, Sean Morgan, a full-time educator and personal financial coach and speaker. And I'm here to help every teacher, whether you're a seasoned teacher looking for fresh insights or a new educator navigating your first paycheck, to have a richer wallet, classroom, and life. Today it is me and you again, and that was not necessarily by design. I'm going to be honest that I was 2 months ahead with my guests and I let it slip. The reason for that, though, is not because I was being lazy, but because I was following my interest and I was doing something else with my time. I usually work on my podcast in the mornings, and I was learning a new side hustle, a new business. And I'm going to talk about that today. But I also want to talk to you guys about my guests. Uh, I'm working really hard to find guests. I'm not getting a lot of people coming to me as guests. The teacher money space is pretty small, but I'm sure there are people that I'm missing. So if you know of somebody I haven't had on the show that would be a fantastic guest, they're a teacher, a former teacher in the personal finance space, whether that is in the debt pay down space, the budgeting space, the side hustle space, the investing space, all of those, and any other that you think would be even tangentially adjacent to this. I'm interested in hearing your suggestions. Please email me at Sean, Shaun, at teachermoneyshow.com with your suggestions. And beyond that, I want to hear from you specifically. Now, I've had people on the show before to do coaching calls one-on-one, but it doesn't have to be a coaching call. Just a conversation about you, your money story, the strategies that you are using to be successful in your context, in your state, in your retirement plan, in your puzzle of the 403b or not, the IRA or the Roth or the taxable brokerage or a 457, whatever it is you would like to talk about that you think might be valuable to somebody else, or you just feel like having a chat. I would love to have you as a guest on the show. You can email me or you can go to teachermoneyshow.com/guest and I can have you come on the show by filling out the form there. I need guests. The most difficult part about this show is the continual hamster wheel of finding guests. So if you are an engaging person to talk to, hey, you're a teacher. I'm sure that you are able to talk. If you have ideas on personal finance, you're listening to the show. I bet you do. Or if you just want to talk about your story, I would love to have you on the show because it is a community that I'm trying to build where we are coming together to help each other out with our own personal finances to unlock our financial superpowers as teachers. So that is my plea to you. Please come on the show or tell me who I can bring on the show so that way I can bring on more guests. I do have some great guests lined up over the next few weeks. And of course, we're coming to the end of season 3, but I'd love to hear from you. All right, now on to why I let it slip. I tend to take, one iron out of the fire and put two more in. It's a real problem that I'm working on figuring out what I'm going to do about that over the next few months. But in my effort to, pay off the last of my debts, because, we're all on this debt payoff journey together for the most part, I wanted to start a side hustle that I would be able to do mostly from home and be able to make significant money from. And what I stumbled upon was reselling. It's where you buy returns or liquidated items in bulk, and then you turn around and flip them uh, to regular, customers, consumers. So what does this look like? Well, it means all sorts of things. But what I started with was buying a pallet of toy items, larger toy, like outdoor toy items, indoor larger toy items, For example, arcade machines, there was four of those. There was also a couple of Lego tables, a few other large items like that, and a couple of electric pianos. Just an eclectic, fun category of items. And these were Costco return items. So when I get them, they're not perfect. Some of them are just, in the box ready to go. I got, luckily, two electric pianos that were 100% unused, ready to go items. Uh, but other things weren't. I got a claw machine, which I didn't know people bought claw machines, but it was a very popular item. I got two of them, and they were both broken in some way, and I had to get them repaired. And I got a couple of arcade machines that needed repairing. Um, and I started learning about this. I was spending my mornings figuring out what was wrong with them, working on the repairs, troubleshooting, as well as getting things listed on Facebook Marketplace so that way they would sell and I'd be able to make a profit. To buy this pallet, which was worth around $4,000 in Costco, uh, I was able to pay about 800 something dollars and then pay for shipping, which is, expensive, another 300 or so. So a little over $1,100 all in. I was able to get this landed at my house, which is great for palletized item. And then I was able to turn around and sell them. And I had a few hiccups along the way. I found out that Facebook had kind of shadow banned me because I listed something they didn't like before, just like a week before this happened, which was really unfortunate. So I was doing a whole bunch of different things to try and get these things to sell, and they weren't working. So I had a issue getting them to sell initially, which means I lowered the prices. But really it was just that no one could see what I was selling. But anyway, as I figured it out, I was able to get everything sold, and I ended up after paying, sales tax and paying for my initial purchase, I made about $300. Was that great? No, but I mean, I had to do a lot of repairs and I had lowered my prices because I thought that was the problem, not the shadow ban from Facebook. So I made money on that one. And that was great. So I had my initial investment, I had the money I made on top of it. So then I bought another pallet. Right now I'm in the middle of my second pallet, and that is a pallet of oral care items. I know this is very related, but I bought a whole bunch of electric toothbrushes. Still got those right now in April of 2026. So if you need a cheap electric toothbrush, let me know. Anyway, but the point is, I bought a whole bunch of these, Costco return items. Most of them were new. Some of them had been, used, and you have to like say, well, this one of the two wasn't used, so I'm going to sell that one, but the other one's kind of trash because no one wants to buy a used toothbrush. But the point is that I was spending my mornings, going through them, cataloging them. Is this new? Is it used? Can I have to split it? Then I've been taking pictures of them because instead of doing Facebook Marketplace, I've been doing eBay. So I was learning how eBay worked, and I've been listing them, and also, not to ship them because I'm doing eBay. So the point that I'm making is that my mornings have been focused on my new side hustle. And just to pull the curtain back on that, I've made about, after eBay fees and things like that, I've made around $800 from selling this pallet so far. I was all in on a pallet of $8,000 worth of merchandise for about, $1,000, just over $1,000, which is great. So I'm getting close to breaking even, and then I'll just have this product on hand that will make profit every single time I send it out. So what I love about this side hustle that I'm doing right now is that I order the items in pallets and they come directly to my home. So I'm not going out and shopping places and taking a lot of time out, which there are ways to do what I'm doing by doing that, by going to thrift stores and by looking for things on clearance and by, going to garage sales, even dumpster diving for items that were thrown away that shouldn't have been. There's a wide range of this flipping or reselling business. Um, but I chose because I'm at home right now. I have to be at home as much as possible for my wife to be doing her schooling, as I mentioned before, and so I can help care for our young son who was born within the last year. I want to be home, so I'm able to get this shipped to my house. I'm able to process it all in. I have a sunroom in the back of my home, so it's not really a space we use because it's not insulated and there's no AC or heat back there. So it's not very pleasant all the time, but I'm able to go back there and process it all back there and store it all back there. And then when the time comes, when I'm selling on Facebook Marketplace, people come to me usually, and I'm able to just sell right from my home. And if not, I can do delivery, but that's for larger items, so I'm making a bigger bang for my buck for those. But I can take my kids with me if I'm going to do a delivery when my wife needs uh, the house to herself or for it to be quiet and not have to care for the kids. And then, for eBay, I'm just packaging things once again in my sunroom, and then I ship them every other day, depending on how many I have sold. So it's a really interesting side hustle that I'm quite enjoying right now as a way to make money mostly from home. Uh, I do know that it's different for every person. Since I work from home, it's a lot easier to have somebody come on my lunch break for me to sell something to them. It'd be more difficult if you had to be at school all day and you can't, answer a message like, "Hey, is this available?" Um, but I'm sure that it's possible to be successful doing this in one of these veins. If you can't do the Facebook Marketplace version, the eBay version doesn't require you to be, on deck all day. You list the things and then it says, "Hey, you made a sale. Make sure you ship it in the next day or two," depending on what your policy is on there. Um, anyway, the point I'm making is that there's always a way to make more money if that's what you want to do. I was feeling like I wasn't putting my time into things that were making money. For example, I was doing uh, my speaking business. I talked about that. I am a speaker. I want to be out there sharing this and coaching and teaching, teachers specifically, but in the community. Uh, but the program that I was using wasn't getting me paid speaking gigs. I wasn't able to make the money to make it make sense to continue spending all of my time on that. And since I'd spent so much time on that and I needed the funds to be able to start trying to pay down my debt, I shifted. I dropped the outreach on that wasn't bringing me any income, and now I'm doing this because I needed the income coming in. So, always iterating, always deciding what is the best choice, the best side hustle for you going forward. If a side hustle is what you want to do, is really something that I'm exploring right now. The ability to drop an iron in the fire and say, you know what, this isn't for me. This isn't what I want to be doing, is something that I'm working on. It's a muscle I'm working on exercising. Um, I'm also failing a little bit though, because I keep adding more and more things. So to wrap it up, to give my final takeaways from this, brief episode. Number one, I need guests. And if you know of someone who's in this space, if you either are connected to them or you just follow them, let me know who they are. I've tried to do some research and I'm struggling to find more and more people that are able to engage with me. So I'd love to have more guests. But also I want to talk to you. So please go to teachermoneyshow.com/guest and sign up there so that way we can get you on. And if you have any questions about reselling or you have a side hustle that you think is really interesting that you are able to do as a teacher that's working out really well, let's talk about it. You can either email me and maybe we'll have you on the show and talk about that side hustle. There's so many interesting things we can talk about in personal finance. I just really look forward to connecting with you and building a stronger community in the Teacher Money Show. That's all for now. Thank you all for listening. And remember, even if you are side hustling or not, you as a teacher are already rich. Your wallet just needs to catch up. If you would like help on your personal financial situation, go to teachermoneyshow.com/coaching and you'll be able to find different ways I can help you there. If you would like to participate in spreading this message of financial empowerment to teachers, I would encourage you to talk to your administrator or to your district level about going to SeanKMorgan.com to find more information there. And regardless of which one of those you need, please like and subscribe so that way we can spread the reach of this more. Leave a 5-star rating and review. That's going to help more teachers find this. And then turn around and tell a teacher friend. I really appreciate it. The contents of this podcast are informational in nature and are not legal or tax advice. And neither I nor my guests are engaged in the provision of legal, tax, or any other advice. You should not act upon this information without first seeking appropriate advice from an accountant, financial planner, lawyer, or other professional.